natural consequences. Should a parent give consequences, or should he only rely on natural consequences? What should we do? That's the topic of today's video. I'm Lisa Fournier with Be the Change Parenting, where I help you teach your kids values, build self-esteem, and an awesome relationship with them. So if these are topics that you love, feel free to subscribe and hit the, what's that little bell button so that you get the notifications, you know what I mean? Okay, today we're going to be talking about natural consequences versus given consequences. Okay, so natural consequences is when your children, whatever they've done naturally creates a consequence in their life, as opposed to consequences that you give them. Okay, when you give a consequence, it's like, well, you didn't this, so you're not going to that. Is this a proper way of behaving with your children to give them consequences? So, as a general rule of thumb, I would say that for me, I love natural consequences as much as you can, because when you give a consequence, there's always that little bit of friction that you create in your relationship with your child, that your child is sort of, angry at you for what you've just given them a consequence, and they don't like that very much. And as much as possible in your relationship with your kids, you don't want to have that friction. You want to have positive interactions with your kids. You want to be giving and loving and be the person that they turn to for advice, for life's guidance. That's so important, to build relationship, to always be doing things together, to spend time together, to go out together, to build relationship. And when you give consequences, it's a little bit of a minus on the relationship. So as much as you can avoid that, the better. However, sometimes natural consequences aren't always enough. And sometimes they're not effective, or sometimes they don't apply. So in situations where there isn't a proper natural consequence, then yes, I am of the believers that one should give consequences to their kids. But I say this with a very big asterisk, because sometimes people just, that's the quickest way to get to where you need to go. You get your kid to stop the behavior and you can move on with your day. You don't have to deal with their misbehavior. And the quickest way is to just give a consequence. That's why I say this with a big asterisk, because that's really not your first choice. That's really not where you want to go in your relationship with your child. You want to save that for like the small little percentage of times that you can't work things out in a better way. You can't work things out with either a natural consequence, or even before that, with diverting their attention, with bringing, with helping them understand the situation better, with the cooperation technique. I have so many other ways of helping you get through your situations with your kids other than giving them a consequence. And that it should be your ultimate goal. Because when you have consequence after consequence coming in the relationship, it builds, I want to say animosity sort of towards your parents. Like if your parents are the kinds that are always, every single day you're getting a consequence from your parents, or even every week and it lasts the whole week, that's it. Like, I don't like my parents very much, right? You want your kids to be the ones that look at their parents like, I love my parents. We have an awesome relationship. We're the best. I have the best dad. I have the best mom, right? So that's why you want to avoid the consequences at all costs. In order to do that, I highly suggest using what I call these natural other ways of dealing with things. Cooperation techniques. That's how you get your kids to cooperate with you without having to give them consequences. I have an ebook for you that is spells it all out. My ebooks are really not long. They're an easy read, but the reason why I put them into ebooks is so they're very extremely clear. There's no misunderstanding. It's all written out and really, really clear for you. So there's one ebook that I have on cooperation techniques, and another one that I have on consequences, really explaining to you when to use a consequence, when not to use a consequence, how to use a consequence, what types of consequences there are out. There's, there's natural consequences, and then there's 3 other consequences that I talk about in my ebook. So if this is the type of thing that you're dealing with, trying to figure out how do I do this, how do I do this consequence thing, and how do I deal with misbehavior, but I really want to have a positive relationship. So these are all in line with positive parenting, having a good relationship with your kids so that you can build connection. But as also at the same time, build your children's values and what's right and what's wrong. Because if you let misbehavior go and just let it go and let it go and let it go, you're not doing your duty as a parent to teach your children right from wrong, which is oh so important. So I'm going to leave the link to these 2 ebooks below. And if this is something that's important to you that you're going through right now, I highly suggest taking a look at them. Bye for now.